We welcome you wrestling fans back to the Nation Network, and this episode we are doing our full game review for WWE2K17. And I'm not going to bore you with a lot of the details that you've seen already 100 times by now. You already know about the multiple referees that are available from every timeline out there. You've got the ECW, the WCW, you've got the WWF. If you want to go really old school, it's there. We're looking at just some of the gameplay footage. The in-ring gameplay is really pretty solid. Now, I've seen some different glitches on other people's videos and still photos of audience members floating in the air, things of that nature. I have not personally encountered that yet, but I see a lot of people have, so it's probably just a matter of time. And this may be something that 2K manages to iron out with an update. We'll see as time goes by. But the in-ring action does look pretty good. They move well. They've changed some things up this year with the submission system to a certain degree. They've changed things up with the ladder, and all the changes for the most part have been improvements. One of the things I've really found entertaining about this game is that moves can be reversed literally from anywhere, as we're seeing right here. From up on top of the top rope, already up across the shoulders, and Samoa Joe reversed it into a huge powerbomb move. And this is the kind of stuff that happens in the game all the time. Now, this was just a game I decided to play randomly. This is not part of the universe mode or anything like that. But what's super cool about this is, even though it's just a random matchup, all kinds of unexpected things can take place, just like it does in a real wrestling match. So right now you have your one-on-one match. Let's talk about the camera cut angles that they've changed now, where when you go outside on the far side walls and things of that nature, all of a sudden the camera cut gives you a much better view, a better angle, and puts you back ringside literally into the action. And it's really neat to see the difference that makes. Now, that's just one of the many different changes that they have made this year to spice the game up a little bit, to give it some additional flavor, and all of it has really just paid off for the most part. I've got very little to say negatively about the game thus far. The servers are still an issue, as they've always been when it comes to uploading content, but that's probably not going to change anytime in the near future. Here, look at this. We got Finn Balor coming out in the middle of the match. Now, he's not tied to any grudge that I have set up, because in this one you'll see here he's going to actually kind of be siding with Samoa Joe, and that's definitely not like I have Samoa Joe as Finn Balor's buddy or anything like that, so I'm not quite sure what made that happen. But even in playing a standard match without it being in universe mode, weird things happen. Guys come out of the crowd and get involved, and it's really neat. So it keeps the game fresh. It keeps it all balanced a little bit, so you don't know what to expect, and that's definitely a plus. So the knocks I have on the game thus far, most of them are minor. One of them is major. The major one is the commentary, and that's just bad every year, and it's no better this year. I don't know why anybody would hope that it would have been. There's just nothing about Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler recording in a sound studio anything that sounds remotely entertaining, exciting, live action. They fail when they do it in the studio. They do a pretty good job of it in real life, but they just can't recapture that. And I always look back on the UFC fight games and how those things sound so legitimate, and I don't know why the WWE just can't capture the same thing, but they can't. And they failed again. So I turned the audio commentary off. It's just hard to listen to. It's terrible. They often are calling out things that are not even happening. It's really, really bad. Okay, here's another little problem I had in universe mode. I want to clear all of the main roster cards out of there. So I took Raw out, I took NXT out, and it wouldn't let me take SmackDown out, stating that you have to have at least one major show. Well, 2 of my 3 are major shows, but it doesn't recognize that. So you'll end up having to keep either Raw or SmackDown in your universe mode, and it's also going to eat up one day of the calendar. Nothing you can do about that other than fast forward through those matches. But again, that's something that I would like to think 2K might be able to patch with an update in the near future. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. Alright, let's move on to one of my favorite parts of the game, and one of the reasons why I played so little of it last year, and that is the creation mode. The creation suite this year has gone above and beyond, in my opinion. I've heard some people talking smack about this, and I don't get it. This is the most detailed building engine they have ever had for a WWE game. the way you can morph the head now, it's in layers. At first you start doing the general shape of the head like you did last year with the little outline and things like that where you can bring the small. But then from there, now you finally have the ability to really shape the skull and the forehead accurately. Because you look at a guy like Ryback, he's got a very distinct shaped head that you could not possibly have made last year, at least not to the point where it would really truly look like him. This year, not a problem at all. I'm working right now, as you're looking at here, is Shane Douglas. I'm putting some ECWs together. And right here is the early stages of the franchise, Shane Douglas. We're going to speed this up in a minute for time, just to give you an idea, though. The amount of depth and opportunity you have to create in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Alright, now we're looking at how you make the bodies this year. Now, it's not like every other year in the past where you go to each limb and you just automatically change and sculpt things out one number at a time. Now it comes in preset notions, and then from there you can even detail it more. So you pick out the general body style, but then from there you can change the neck, you can change the back musculature, you can change the arms. You can also change the veins that protrude. It's amazing. The musculature in the chest, the abdominals, the legs, all the way down the body, and then you can change each individual part out as you want to. So while it does take some of the detail away that you used to be able to control, for the most part, I really don't see it being a problem. There's not too many wrestlers that I would want to create that I can't with this system. Now, if you were into making somebody like a Yokozuna or an Abdullah the Butcher, then you're probably going to have some problems. Alright, here's another cool feature. It's called the group logo, and that's where you can take several of the logos that come in the game if you want to, and you can position and pattern them one over or one next to the other in layers and create a whole different look of a logo. So in this situation, I'm looking to make the tattoo for Shane Douglas for the triple threat. So I pull out the triangle, which is close enough. I'm not going to be too exact on this one, but it gives you the overall feel for it. And then from there, we're just going to change the colors. We're going to add a couple of the other parts in to make the Roman numeral 3, and then take that new logo. Once you save it, it goes into your logo account, and then you just pull it up anytime you want, add it on there. You can't change the color once you've created it, so right now I can change it to whatever color I want, but once I've saved it that way, I cannot go back later and rechange it. I'd have to recreate the logo and change it at that point. But what you can do is you can fade it in and out so that it mixes with the skin and things of that nature. So while most of the abilities are the same as last year's, there are a couple of new ones out there that generally come down to the interview process for the most part. It'll allow you certain opportunities to stunt the point gained by the person that comes in to interview against you. So it's basically a battle on the microphone, and you're trying to gain a higher level than the person that's countering you. And with this, it gives you a one-shot opportunity to down their points a little bit for one level. Not a big deal, but it's there. So here is the final product of Shane Douglas. I think it came out pretty good. We end up doing a second attire as well, and this is available on the PlayStation Network. At this point, we're working on the second attire. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I got to tell you. This is the game we've been waiting for a long time. Is it perfect? No, but it's pretty damn good. Definitely worth the money, in my opinion. I've spent the money. I've got the Season Pass, the NXT package as well, just to make sure I've got all the playable characters. Got a neat little statue of Finn Balor out of the deal. This is the way it should have been last year. And it makes you wonder how good next year is going to be. And then it also makes you worry a little bit because the next gen isn't too far away. And that means they're going to start from scratch again. So I'm not so sure about that part. But I think next year could be even better than this year. But at least for the next 12 months, we've got a pretty good game to fall back on. And I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I think the replay value is very high on this game. And that's why, in my opinion, I'm giving this a score of 9 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please do us a favor. Click the like button below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our network. We're going to be bringing you a whole week worth of universe mode, and then you, the audience, will have to determine which of the 3 slots you most like, because we're not going to have enough time to do the full card for each of those events on a regular basis. But we're all juiced up about this first week. We really want to go out and put out a lot of content and then go from there. So, once again, click the like button. Let us know what you think of the card this week, and we'll see you ringside here on the Nation Network.